Hey YouTubers, I recently sat down to watch episode 20 of Dragon Ball Super. I'm sure like a lot of you, I can say that this definitely was not the pickup that I wanted after last week's episode. It's beginning to look more and more like Super isn't going to really develop the story arc from Fukkatsu no F and it's just going to be a straight adaptation. One of the main things being the apparent absence of Goten and Trunks during the fight with Frieza. A lot of aggravation has already been spouted about this in the last few days, and I'm definitely amongst the masses when it comes to this particular point of criticism. I will link my video concerning the current state of Dragon Ball Super down below if you have any interest, but after having sat with episode 20 for a little while, something kind of sparked in me that I wanted to share with the community. Now before I get into this, I just wanted to make it clear that this is a theory about where Dragon Ball Super could be going in the next couple of episodes. Nothing is confirmed and we'll have to wait and see if I'm right. Nevertheless, I think this is something that could be very exciting for Dragon Ball fans in the next coming weeks if I'm right. My theory is, what if Goten and Trunks aren't in the fight against Frieza because they decided to go off into space? Furthermore, what if Goten and Trunks accidentally discover the Super Dragon Ball that Champa and Vados are looking for in Universe 7? One of the staples of Dragon Ball Super that people speculated about before the series premiered back in July was the series would focus on, at least partially, on the side adventures between Goten and Trunks. We saw a hint of this way back in episode 1 that resulted in a very humorous, heartwarming interaction between Goten and Videl. So a side adventure of the two young Saiyans is not out of the ordinary. And that's why I'm making this video. Stories aren't written haphazardly. If we see something on screen, that something is usually there for a purpose. And in episode 20 we saw Goten and Trunks playing around with Jaco's spaceship. At one point it even seems like they tried to fly the thing as well. If we look a little further into this theory, episode 18 introduced us to Champa and Vados as they appeared to be searching for the mysterious Super Dragon Balls in Universe 7. Although we weren't told that it was Universe 7, I think it's a very safe bet that it was. We must remember that Champa and Vados were never shown destroying the Frieza Force spaceship in Dragon Ball Super as they were in the Toyotaro manga adaptation. Interestingly enough, this leaves a bit of a hole that still needs to be filled. We were given a reason for Frieza's revival in episode 19, but it was basically the same thing we heard in Fukkatsu no F. Nothing really exciting there. I'm suggesting that it would be interesting and humorous if Goten and Trunks weren't in the middle of the Frieza fight because they decided to go into space after meeting Jaco. At first I thought they just might take Jaco's ship, but that doesn't seem to be the case as Jaco and Bulma seem to take that to the battlefield like they did in the movie. However, the Briefs family seems to be sitting on multiple intergalactic spaceships ever since the Frieza saga in Dragon Ball Z. We saw Vegeta training in the gravity room in the beginning of the series. It would also be interesting if or when Goten and Trunks go into space that they find the Super Dragon Ball and accidentally run into Champa and Vados in the process. They could even make jokes about how fat Beerus has gotten in such a short time until they are forced to go home. Champa and Vados could follow Goten and Trunks back to Earth after Beerus, Whis, Goku, and Vegeta have already arrived to help fight Frieza, and thus set up the Universe 6 arc. Again, this is just a theory, but the more I think of it, the more and more I like it. What do you think? Is this an interesting way to introduce the Universe 6 arc? Tell me in the comment section below, don't forget to rate and subscribe, and have a nice day everybody.